Dropshipping, the ultimate guide to building a six-figure e-commerce business by successfully selling online, by Timothy Winterborn. First of all, thank you for downloading my book, Dropshipping. Secondly, congratulations. You have just taken the first step into the profitable and exciting world of dropshipping. Have you always wanted your own e-commerce store but are worried about the cost and the risk? It is one of the biggest hurdles for people to overcome, and most never get beyond the idea stage of having their own business and being their own boss. And understandably so, it can be expensive to start an online store and spend thousands purchasing stock, not to mention the risk of products not selling. This is why dropshipping is an excellent way to get into the entrepreneurial world and start earning an income through a business of your own. Dropshipping lets you sell products without actually having to purchase any products beforehand. In other words, you set up an online store, you list the products you want to sell, and when a customer buys something, you then place an order with the supplier who then ships it out to them. You then pocket the difference between what your customer paid and what it cost you to buy the item and get it shipped. You never need to buy stock and you never need to handle packaging and shipping. The supplier does all of that for you. Dropshipping has provided people with an opportunity to have their own business that doesn't involve a big capital investment, nor high risk. Want to know how it's done? Then read on. This book explains everything you need to know about how to set up a store, find suppliers, reach an audience, and find new customers, and how to keep running your business once it's active. It also suggests apps you can use to make your business more efficient and streamlined, and marketing tools to help you build your online presence and make your business successful. The reason I wrote this book is to gather my knowledge on a subject I know a lot about based from personal experience and share with others in order to inspire them to take the plunge and set up their own business. With dropshipping, it's fairly straightforward and you can be earning a six-figure income in a matter of months, giving you independence and financial security. So without further ado, let's discover the world of dropshipping and see how you can make this work for you. I'm excited for you that you are about to begin this journey, and if you follow the tips in this book, you will definitely succeed. Let's first take a look at the basics of dropshipping. Chapter 1. The basics of dropshipping. In this chapter, we will look at the basics of dropshipping and give you an insight into what it is, why you should care about it, and how you can use it as a source of income. First of all, what is dropshipping? Put simply, dropshipping is when a store sells products to their customers but doesn't actually keep the items in stock. In other words, once a sale has been made, the store then places an order with their supplier for the item purchased by the customer. This means that the store never has any inventory, despite selling products to clients. This business model has been around for a few years and makes up a large percentage of the entire e-commerce trade and industry. It's estimated between 22 and 33% of all online stores use dropshipping as their main stock management model. It's interesting to note that it's not just small, lesser-known companies that are using this method of selling. Amazon and Sears use it as one of their primary methods. Zappos was using dropshipping way back in 1999. There are also plenty of smaller yet successful websites and online stores that are using this way of selling, and a whole industry and supply chain has grown around it. What's the big deal about dropshipping? The appeal is fairly obvious, especially for a small e-commerce business who tend to have smaller budgets. By using dropshipping, stores don't have to pay for any inventory, which drastically reduces their upfront investment and reduces the risk of having a whole bunch of stock that never ends up selling. It also means these businesses have one less task to do, allowing them to concentrate on reaching more customers and increasing overall conversion rates. It's a potentially nifty inventory management model that comes with plenty of advantages, but as with everything, some downsides too. However, we will come back to this a bit later. Let's take a close look at how dropshipping actually works. How does dropshipping work? If you work in retail or have an interest in e-commerce, it's likely that you have heard of the term before. Or it could well be the first time you have come across this concept. Either way, it is now considered an established business model and one that looks set to stay for a while. Let's take a look in detail at how it works. Let's imagine there's an online company that sells furniture. On their website, customers can browse through hundreds of different furniture-related products, with each item showcased by a high-quality image, a product description, price, shipping costs, all the typical details you would expect from an online store. This online store is particularly diverse and sells everything from tables and chairs to desk lamps and futons. If a customer decides to buy an office chair, he will then click Buy Now, put in his card details, and place his order. Once this purchase has been made, the online store receives a notification of a purchase. However, the online store uses the dropshipping model, so they don't actually have this product, or any other product for that matter, in stock. So what do? They instantly place the order with their supplier, who then ships it directly to the customer. The customer then receives their product, and the cycle is complete. There are two interesting things to know about this example. First, the online store has nothing more to do with the buyer's cycle once they place the order with the supplier. And it's the supplier that both keeps the product in stock and ships it. However, the store will still be involved in customer support if required, and how much they choose to be involved. Follow-up emails, courtesy discounts, it's entirely up to them. Second, the customer usually has absolutely no idea that the company didn't and never will have the product in stock, and is blissfully unaware that it was a different supplier that sent them the item. This doesn't really matter, so long as the customer is satisfied with the purchase. Using a dropshipping supplier doesn't impact the buyer directly, but it makes you aware of what could really be going on behind your online purchases. To have an e-commerce store that relies on dropshipping, you need to have a suitable platform where you can build a store with images and descriptions. One of the most common platforms is Shopify, a complete integrated site that allows you to easily set up a e-commerce store. There are also apps such as Oberlo that you can use that will connect your e-commerce shop to the supplier to help streamline the process of dropshipping. We will look at these in more details later in the book, but for now it's worth knowing that there is plenty of infrastructure out there to support and facilitate the dropshipping business model. So we have seen how the computer marketplace works, which is your e-commerce store where the customers visit and make purchases. However, what happens at the other end of the chain after the purchase is made? Next, we will look at the supplier side of the dropshipping model. Dropshipping companies, or drop shippers as they are known, are the suppliers that provide your e-commerce store with the products. The whole idea of dropshippers is this: you, the e-commerce store, contact wholesalers or manufacturers who are happy to partner with you and provide you products to sell in your store. Once that partnership has been created, you then decide your niche and start selling products within the niche that your supplier, the wholesaler or manufacturer, can supply you with. It's not that easy to set up a partnership with a dropshipper, and is in fact one of the trickiest initial hurdles to overcome. From their point of view, they need an e-commerce store that has not only potential to sell items, but also has figures to support their expected sales volume, as this will help them plan their inventory levels and how much to produce. Of course, several companies have been quick to overcome this challenge by being the middleman between the e-commerce site and the dropshipping companies. For example, Doba allows you to select the products you want to sell without having to partner with any dropshippers, as it already has these contacts established. One of the largest companies in the world of dropshipping is AliExpress, which we will look at in more details in a later chapter that discusses finding suppliers. So, that's the dropshipping model in a nutshell. One of the big questions is it a profitable business model? Like all business areas, there are success stories and total disaster case studies. However, just look at Amazon, one of the most famous companies in the world. To see a successful and highly profitable company that uses the dropshipping model, However, the world of e-commerce has become a highly competitive market, and it can be difficult to compete in today's overcrowded online marketplace. However, it is certainly not impossible if you have a strong, unique selling point, can provide value to customers in a way others can't, and have a strong marketing strategy. The profit margins vary depending on the product that you are selling. For example, electronics will have thin margins, likely to be between 5% and 10%. This is because they are pricey items to purchase from a supplier, and the competition is huge in this area, so prices are often as low as can be. However, go for a niche and buy low-priced items or accessories, and your margins can be much bigger, sometimes up to 100%. On average, the gross margins for a dropshipping e-commerce will usually fall in the 10% or to 15% range. Following picture shows the concept of dropshipping. Seller chooses a supplier and products to sell. Seller lists the products on the online store or marketplace. Customer orders products. Supplier packs and ships the order to the customers. Seller handles any customer service concern. Chapter Summary. In this chapter, we have covered the basics of dropshipping and given you an insight into how this business model works. Dropshipping is an inventory management model. It's where an e-commerce store sells products to their customers through their website without actually having any of the products in stock. Instead, when a purchase is made, they contact the supplier to buy the item directly and get it shipped to the customer. There are 3 interesting points about dropshipping. 1. The online store never holds any inventory. 2. It's the supplier that usually deals with the shipping process and not the online store. And 3. The customer usually has no idea that their product was sent by a supplier and not the original company that holds the product. The e-commerce store is set up online using a platform such as Shopify that allows the store owner to create an easy interface to interact with and sell to its customers. Not all companies that use Shopify use the dropshipping model, but some do. The online store that wishes to use the dropshipping model as its way of delivering products to their customer needs to establish partnerships with wholesalers and manufacturers that will be willing to provide them products. However, there are some companies that act as the middleman between the suppliers and the online stores, meaning that the store doesn't need to reach out and make these partnerships. Using the dropshipping model can be profitable so long as you have a niche, add value for your customers using a unique selling point, and have a strong marketing strategy. In the next chapter, we will look at the advantages and disadvantages of dropshipping. This will help you decide if it is the business model for you.